Episode, is it 19 or 18? 19. Episode 19, Qualified Dropouts. This one is an exciting one. Well, if you didn't know who I am, my name's Asher. This is Ian, all the way at the end. We dropped out of college and teach you guys the lessons we have learned with dropping out, starting successful online companies. And today we have Mr. Mason Mahoney.
What's going on, everybody?
Yeah, so me and Ian, this is like honestly one of our first friends that we met in Houston.
Yeah, because we met at Chris brought us, I think, Nick Modina's house.
Oh yes,
or
that's
whatever.
that, yeah.
That was
And we
that
met.
was a while. That was like shit when you guys. I think you guys.
It was like
It was the
we literally
weekend of.
just yeah, it was like
It was
the
the
week
weekend
just
of,
moved.
and I got blasted.
Yeah, I think everyone did that night.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it
Yeah.
was
When you guys
crazy.
walked in, I was already feeling myself.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, introduce yourself.
Yeah, introduce
kinda
yourself
tell
a
us,
little
like
bit.
what
Yeah.
you do
Yeah.
and everything. And
Of course. Well, it's an honor to be on the podcast with you gentlemen. I went to college, graduated. I wasn't a dropout, but hey, I mean, so went to school actually. So I work in the same field as these guys. I'm an online coach as well. I run a business with my business partner named Audrey Adams. We run a team called Team Athlete Mentality. A little bit about my background is that I went to school actually for computer science. I'm not sure if you guys know that.
I didn't know that.
So went to school for computer science. My last semester of school was when I decided to I had an Instagram account, but it had like pretty much just all my like fraternity brothers.
Yeah.
Some like sorority girls I had met through the years that followed me. Just like I posted regular just dude pics of like, just me and my like three buddies just like holding, So started posting actual fitness content like end of 2018. Met some of my buddies. I was talking to Ian, I think Chad Morgan, if you guys know who Chad is, which then kind of snowballed into other people from there. But that's just kind of where things started for me in 2018. Started, just realized I did not want to sit behind a computer for the rest of my life, and started to kind of embark on my not only social media journey, but journey of like, okay, how the fuck am I going to start a business and like make this work? But
and you kind of pursued it. I feel like before it started becoming more popular too. Like, like you kind of took a bigger leap than us, honestly, because like you were like, I'm gonna just do it, and there was I feel like there was really no like clear path how to do it. I feel like it was still very like it's a myth. It doesn't actually happen.
Yeah, there were no like mentorships out by that time, were there? Maybe like one, maybe.
There were a few, and it was funny. So like my first mentorship that I jumped into was built by a bunch of just like influencers. So it was like Brendan Myers, Brendan DeCosta, a couple just like big marketing dudes, and I invested in that program. It was like $1,400. This was my last semester of college. At the time, that was like, probably like 1/4 of my net worth.
Yeah, it's probably a lot of money.
I was like, shit, I just had some money rolling over from like my summer job that I made. And I was like, okay, fuck. So I invested in that, started to kind of learn how to like use Trainerize, program stuff. So I was like, okay, this is how I can coach people actually. Didn't really bring on any clients at all. And then into January 2019, I found this like Australian company that was doing business coaching. And I think they were like the PT Freedom Funnel or some shit.
Never heard of those guys.
No, I mean they eventually. So I got into them and then started to kind of learn a little bit more about like, okay, what is a niche, and then like like how do you, create an offer, like blah blah blah. How do you like sell stuff like that? So that was when I started to kind of get a little bit more into the understanding the business side, and then actually. Let's rewind a little bit more. Back in November, I invested in this sales course too. Do you guys know who Dan Locke is? Ever heard of him?
Never heard of him.
That name does sound familiar though.
So
like I feel like I've heard that name.
Yeah, he's a Chinese looking dude from Vancouver.
Okay.
So has these sales courses called like a high ticket closer, so to speak. So I was like,
I feel like Will's talked about him.
Yeah, I think Will's talked about it before.
Yeah, so like he had like a sales course, and I was like, okay, shit, like if I'm not going to do computer science, maybe I could like start to learn a little bit more about sales. Started to kind of learn the sales process from him. A lot of actually like really good, valuable stuff. Met a dude in there that kind of I started to learn my meditation practice from, which I still have today, which is a random like sidebar.
Yeah. That's cool.
But that was kind of how that thing started up into 2019. Yeah.
Damn.
I feel like there's so much more. Do you want me to just keep going?
I mean, you can say whatever you want, but I feel like there is gonna be a lot.
This is gonna be a jam-packed podcast. We got a lot to cover here.
Last week we had another person who graduated from college as well. He's an online coach. I don't know if you know him, Jason Lewis, but we.
I do.
Him.
I know.
Yeah,
I know Jason Lewis. I saw Jason Lewis. He was in a coaching program with me. I think at the time I didn't really know him, and then I saw he was a dude that came up to me. I was walking into Bass Canyon, a music festival in Washington.
Oh,
and he's like, "Hey, Mason." I like,
what?
Who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
I was like, "Wait, I don't really recognize your face right now."
Yeah.
He's like, "Jason." I was like, "Oh shit, I didn't even realize it." But that's how I met.
So he's a part of our
ago.
mentorship group now. But he's doing online coaching now too. So we had him on last week, and he graduated from college. So we have people who graduate on this podcast.
I think you're the third or fourth, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. Graduated.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Yeah, we don't hate.
Yeah, no, for sure. We don't hate. But
Good deal.
I kind of want to. So you graduated from college. Were your parents like, you have to go to college, or did you decide you want to go to college? Because I mean, computer science is still pretty sick.
So that great question. So I actually did want to go to college because it was like, it's like, okay, go to school, get a degree, figure this shit out. So originally I was like, okay, I'm gonna
quick side note, were you in a fraternity?
I was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So went to school, and I wanted to do something in technology. I was like, okay, it seems like the field that's like growing, like there's opportunity. So I started off in a computer engineering track, which was absolutely atrocious. So I lasted about a semester in computer engineering, and then that's when I switched over to computer science. So with my parents, like my dad worked in typical corporate America. My mom worked a little bit through corporate, and then like stopped working when I was like 10 or 11, was a stay-at-home mom.
Okay.
So like for my parents, it's like, okay, go get a job, you'll come out of college, and then, just the typical, you'll work your way up through the system kind of deal.
Yeah.
So like, they always like harped on like, get good grades, go to school,
Yeah.
get out and get yourself a good job.
I mean, back then it was kind of like you didn't really know.
27?
27.
27? Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
There was really no like big come up on like social media. So I feel like it's hard back then, especially to be like, I'm not going to school. Like, what are you actually going to do? Like, that's why, I mean.
Yeah.
That's so true. I mean, because nowadays it's like there's so much more exposure. I mean, Jesus, with like TikTok, with all like the coaches coming out now, because like you said, I can't remember who said it, but like back in 2018, even 2017, like I mean, it was just like Christian Guzman on YouTube. Then Bradley Martin started to like make some noise. And like you saw,
Bradley had a huge coaching business, dude.
Did he really?
Dude, it was massive. It was called, it was like BM Fit or something like that.
That was his clothing company.
Yeah, and his one-on-one coaching company. Dude, he was talking in a podcast a couple weeks ago how much he was doing a year. Dude, it was nuts.
Really?
Oh my God.
Yeah, he was doing like well over like 2 or 3 million a month.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Holy shit.
Yeah, he had like a whole team built out and shit like that.
Insane.
And he was also doing like hybrid training in certain gyms with trainers like all around the U.S.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah, he got on it early. Like, right?
It's no, he was like one of the first.
He was one of like the OG
he was
online coaches.
Yeah, he was one of the first online coaches.
Yeah.
And that's what he talked about in the podcast. He was like, yeah, people like low-key stole my idea because I was the first one on Instagram that was doing fitness. And I just told people I'd give them plans.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Damn. I did not know that, but that's $2 million a month.
Dude,
yeah, he was doing I mean,
he must have had the fucking thousands of fucking clients.
Yeah.
Dude, that's insane.
Yeah, he said he had a huge ass team. But
yeah, I couldn't imagine handling that many people. That's crazy.
Because I remember seeing Bradley for the first time. I used to watch a YouTuber, FouseyTube.
Fousey,
2012, 13. I saw
Don Mazzetti too.
Yeah,
Dude, that guy.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And then that's when I saw Bradley Martin. I was like, dude, this guy's a fucking freak. Like back in 2013, 14, he was huge. Absolutely huge. Like,
I saw him at Alpha Land in June. Motherfucker.
His arms are the size of my legs.
Dude,
I'm not even kidding.
He's a unit.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Like, he's a tank.
He's been kind of teasing wanting to go to the Olympia and shit just for fun.
Really?
But I'm like, I don't know.
He has to learn how to pose.
Yeah, I don't know. But let's get back on topic.
So you went to college. You wanted to computer. I mean, I'm glad you didn't go just because for finance or business, right? Everybody does that.
Yes.
And so then you worked for a little bit, right? After.
I did. So I worked for pretty much. So I got out of school, accepted a job at a company called Deloitte. I interned with them.
No way.
Summer. Yeah.
That's a They do like food. They come to restaurants, right?
So they're a Big Four accounting firm. But they do all types of shit. They're like, I think they have like globally.
We used to have Deloitte come to Chick-fil-A all the time. And,
really?
And like, yeah, and like come do all of our stuff. It was crazy.
No shit.
Yeah.
So
we're like a Deloitte's visit coming. We're like, shit, we need to really tidy up.
Wait, that's like they drive in like those trucks, right? No, okay, never mind. wait. Never mind. Go on. What's the thing that comes in the truck then? The Chick-fil-A that collects all that fucking money?
Well, that's Loomis. That's Loomis.
Yeah.
Oh, Loomis.
That's just a money
like
trick.
A bank.
No, Deloitte, like they'll come to the store, and then I think it's that they test the quality of our food. I don't think they do like a food safety because I think we have another. But Chick-fil-A outsources Deloitte. They actually like buy them and they get them to come to the place or whatever.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean the shit that I did with. I mean, Deloitte has so many fucking
they are like a very like spread out. It's weird what they do. I don't know how they go about it, but it is like a multi like level system.
Yes.
But sorry, continue.
No, you're good. You're good. Shit. So started at Deloitte January of 2019, and it like I don't like talk about this publicly, but I still have that job that I work. I literally work 3 hours a week and get paid like $6,000 a month just to like answer a few emails.
What?
And then I also still like have always like ran my business on the side.
No way.
No, because I remember this. This is the first conversation I had with Mason at that party. Because I was like, "You still have a job?" And he was like, "Yeah, man, I can just do both." But you never told me you were working like 3 hours.
Yeah.
3 hours.
Like I literally like it's always been remote. Like the work that I've done, everybody that I work closely with, I'm out of a Chicago office, but everyone that I work closely with is either in like out of state or overseas in India, and it's never been a demanding position. I don't like work hard like at all. So
wow.
I do the bare minimum. And at this point, like if they fired me, I wouldn't care. But it's like at the same time, it's something that I'm just like like whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. Is there any? There's no point in quitting, right? Is that why you don't? Because
it's not like I can literally like nothing in my life of like being productive would change according to my business, even if I didn't have it.
Yeah.
Or like I stepped away from it. But like if the demand went up to where like I needed to actually do, be on 6 meetings a day and all that, like I just would probably quit.
Yeah. So, interesting. I didn't know that. I knew because I know it was like a while ago. I knew you had a second job, but I thought you actually left it completely.
And most people like think that too. It's just like it's just because I don't like talk. Like, I'm just like it's not something that I'll like talk about publicly. Just because I feel like it's never like relevant, and I feel like if I told somebody like, oh, like hey, you work this job, and then you're also running this business, like how can you take care of all like your team and your clients? It's like
that's fair. No, that's but you guys do a really good job. I feel like team athlete or AM.
Same thing. Yeah.
Because I remember when you guys rebranded, because you guys converged together and then branded it, or was it a thing before?
Yeah, so like we converged together and then when like Audrey and I talk about it, we always knew we were gonna like probably get into something at some point, but we just didn't know when. And the time kind of came to fruition when. I guess we're kind of jumping timelines here, but like came to fruition.
So
like
we can go back, but
no, we're good.
We always do that. We'll like say something like, we're like, oh, well, what about that? And then we just.
So time came to fruition like December of last year when we actually went to a live event where my mentor was like speaking, and like when he throws live events and brings people, he'll speak from stage, and then he'll also like give value, have speakers come up. End of the event, he'll close like $1 million from the stage.
Yeah.
So like. He'll like when we were kind of having that conversation, like Audrey was like there. She knew she wanted to like join her, like do something. She was also an assistant coach under Nick Comodina still, and was like, shit, I think I'm ready to
do my own thing.
Like I was here, like she just got sold into like, fuck, I need to do this now. So that's when like she talked to Jason there. Jason was like, how about you guys just like, get together and then, start the business from there. And then that's literally where it started that day. And then we started next week. We built everything out. She quit with Nick, figured out all the logistics with her clients. We put the fucking business together, started closing people before we even publicly launched, and then we were in January.
Wow. Yeah, that's one thing I wanted to dive into because this is something I talked to you and Audrey on the Zoom before.
Yeah.
When we'll talk about that out of the Potter, but that I'm glad that didn't work out. But Yeah. So how's that work? Like, how do you separate? Because obviously, you guys, Mason and Audrey are together. I don't know if Mason said that earlier, but they're
my
together.
Girlfriend and my business partner. At the same time.
So how do you separate, like, there's girlfriend time and, like, there's business time. So how do you separate that?
Yeah, it's very interesting. I don't know.
Because I could definitely see myself going into business with a partner as well in the future.
Yep.
So obviously I want to know before I jump into it.
Yeah, no, it's like, so I always like explain this to everybody too. It's like we literally on every single like instance of like business and life, like see eye to eye.
Really? That's really
so
important.
there is no like where we're like business time and girlfriend, like we wake up, we work until like it's 9 o'clock. We put our phones down and then we're watching TV. But like we obviously are so like well acquainted with each other because we're literally each other's best friends. Like there's no one else I'd rather really chill with at all times other than her, just because she's like my girlfriend, but she's also like my bro. Like it's just like the chemistry is like so genuine. Like it's so funny too, because like you guys watch like the Hermose's content and stuff. Like that.
Yeah,
so,
of
like,
course.
Like we have a very similar relationship.
Really?
To like how like we just love to work.
I could see that.
Change things.
I could see that too. Yeah.
Develop. We're so invested in like learning more, growing more. How can we do this better? Like she's like so invested on like she loves running teams and like doing all the back end stuff. Where I'm like kind of more like creative style, like sales, and we kind of figure this shit out and be a little bit more free in motion. So it just works really well. And like we didn't figure that out until a couple months into this year. But like for us to be able to do what we do and like be in business together wouldn't really work if it was like one of us kind of slacked a little bit more, didn't want to work as much. But I think we also kind of feed off of each other's energy. There's some times where it's like, oh, fuck, I can kind of like chill right now. And then she's like, wait, no, hold on, we got to get this done. Wait, I'm like, you're right. We got to get this done.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So that's cool. I mean, it works. I mean, shoot, that's awesome that you guys can make it work. And obviously it's going really well because he has been doing it for a little bit now. So,
So when it comes to the fulfillment, I know you have a team. We'll talk about that in a sec too. But when it comes to the fulfillment, you said you do sales. So who really does like the fulfilling? Is it you and all your assistant coaches, or is it you and her?
Yeah. So pretty much like as of right now, we do divvy up sales calls pretty well between the both of us. I know she doesn't want to be on sales calls as much, but that's going to be something we'll figure out in the coming months. But we'll typically both, we have clients now. We haven't been bringing like heavy loads of clients on since like pretty much February, March.
Really?
We'll take some on here and there, but we pretty much only divvy all clients off to our assistant coaches. So probably in the next like 12 months, like we'll have probably under 10 clients each.
Really?
And then only business stuff. So and that's like,
wait, so you're saying you only have 10 clients?
I probably have like 20 clients that check in regularly.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
So what about your team then? What does your team do?
So my entire team, so we have 3 assistant coaches, who obviously the only coach. We have an assistant coach who's our head coach. So she manages all of our assistant coaches. Like we don't get any like, because the big issue we had was like, shit, we have all these team members. Next thing you know, like we're doing stuff throughout the day, making content, new conversation with prospects, taking sales calls, and we got 3 assistant coaches like in our inbox, like in our phone, like, hey, this is happening, this is happening. So like we needed to like consolidate that like message.
Yeah, you need like a general manager.
Yeah, so that's our head coach takes over all that stuff, manages all that, manages fulfillment, manages the onboarding. We just hired out a girl last week who then is also enhancing our client experience. So she's like our client advocate. Yeah. So she pretty much like reaches out to our clients at like certain checkpoints to check in, let them know that like, if you have any questions, I'm here kind of deal. And then she also like takes care of like all renewals. So like she's reaching out, like getting these people back on calls at the end of their contracts or whatever that looks like. And then we have another team member outside of that who kind of acts as like our COO. Yeah. And then she handles all like inquiries, emails, like all this stupid shit that like we don't want to do, so to speak. So that's what the team looks like a little bit right now, and then a few VAs and stuff here and there.
Dang,
that's crazy.
That's like so cool because it's like
me and Ian are over here. We're like, we just got an assistant.
We have like a VA and that's it. Like part time, we're like, man, we do everything that you don't want to do.
Yeah. But I mean, shit, that's what it was like for me for up until this year.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we should go back to like where we
Yeah.
But
I wanted to go back to your first sale ever. I'm talking price point, who it was, and where you took the call.
That's hilarious. So I think the first people that I closed, like, I wouldn't call these, like, they're friends, and I kind of just like half-ass closed them over the phone at like, I think it was like $750 for 12 weeks.
Okay.
I thought you were like, a month?
I'm like, I did it for a month. I'm like, damn, I did 150. Oh my God. I thought you were losing.
So, and then like, I was like, I would have like play around with the price. Some people I'd like charge like 500 for 12 weeks because like I knew you. And like, that was like at the beginning of 2019, like beginning of 2019 up until like, I didn't really start figuring shit out until June of 2019. So that was when I found Brian Mark.
Yeah.
Mark Fit, who actually like he literally just started his like online like his coaching PT Dom.
Yeah.
I think like maybe months before that.
Okay.
So he had like he was the first coach that I had that like actually had like organic strategy.
Yeah.
Like knew like what to do, like hand raise posts on your stories, post content, like this is how you want to like create your content. So found him. That's when like over the course of the summer, like I think within like 3 months of working with him, I made like my first like maybe $12,000. So it was like like $3,500 this month, like 45. I'm like shit, I'm like making money now. Like holy hell. So that's a dude who I started working with, and like those first sales, I remember having like a sales script and like the first. I remember I actually like closed people that like were new in my audience that like maybe knew me but like didn't really like fully, but they were like distant like college friends. Like oh, this dude's kind of doing fitness stuff. He just reached out to me. Yeah, I'm fat as shit. Like maybe I could use some help. So like So like I remember closing somebody. It was like $750. They signed on, and I was like, holy shit! Like that just happened. Then you close a sale that's like over $1,000. Like, and you collect it all at once. You're like, holy shit!
Yeah,
like, that's like a big deal.
No,
dude, I remember. Yeah, the first deal I signed that was over $1,000. I was like, holy, this is nuts.
Yeah. You're like, whoa! It's like you get that like feeling like, holy fuck! Like you're getting close to the end, and he's like. They say and you're like, oh, what's your credit card number?
Like sending everything over. You're like, oh, just sign up, click the link, get it in the system, and it goes through, and you're like, what? Like it's cool selling those bigger packages because it's like, damn, I never even knew you. You just followed me. You liked what I had to say, and now you're like, yeah, I trust you as a coach because like, it's kind of crazy how like I don't know, it is weird. It's just weird. It's just weird to think about it. But
so when you first like really started selling people organically, obviously TikTok wasn't, or I think it may have been around for a couple months, right?
I think so, but I didn't hop on it at the time.
Yeah. So for Instagram, what was it? Was it just mainly posts people would take your application or what?
Yeah. So like, God, I never had an account that like people would just like coming through applications. Like,
really?
Just like it was never something that happened often, but like majority of like what I had to do was just like working in the DMs, like, reaching out to people, engaging in those conversations, hand raised posts on like whether Facebook or Instagram. And that was kind of how like things just like were, I felt like for a decent amount of time. And then outside of that started to implement a little bit of like some challenges. So like a 4-day challenge where like come bring the people through, have certain questions in the type form. Like people say, yeah, like I'll learn a little bit more about your coaching, like get them on a call, close them that way. So that was kind of how that kind of started up until probably, when was it? The end of 2019 and then into 2020.
Gotcha. You and Audrey have a really big Facebook group, right?
We do, but it's like Facebook's like so interesting because
like what's interesting about it?
Well, dealing with people that come over from Facebook groups when like you're bringing them over, like typically you're like mom, like people that are like almost like a little bit too stuck in their ways and like won't like just like listen to people.
Kind of arrogant?
Arrogant in a sense. So it's like they'll be telling you like, oh, I'm doing this, and this, and I'm just like hopped on this like shitty bullshit diet, and like you'll kind of give like some value on it, and then they're just like don't even like listen. You're just like, all right, whatever. Like people on Facebook need to be nurtured so much more than people like when you're coming from like Instagram. It's a little bit more of a free flowing environment, typically a little bit more decent age range between like 24 to like 32.
Yeah,
Facebook moms just suck.
Yeah, no, I tried to get into Facebook, and it's just like they would rather just, I don't even know what they'd rather do. Like hop on like a stupid diet and like a 30-day challenge, and they just juice or they just do lemon water, and they're like, yeah, I lost weight. And I'm like, you look horrible. like that's not.
Literally. Like you have to nurture them so hard. And like we have a really like good cadence in we're in there going live pretty much every day, posting value in there, like testimonials, all that kinds of shit. And I swear to God, it's like the hardest thing ever to get engagement, get people to be consistent in there. Like, it's always just limp as a noodle, but we're always like filling. We have like over 4,000 people in there, which is
that's good,
decent. It's not crazy big, but it's like decent compared to like people who don't put that much effort into Facebook or whatnot. But it's just a
I think I don't think I want to. I don't think me putting my time into Facebook is worth it for my business. So I think I just kind of stopped. I'm getting into LinkedIn now.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. But that's
I've heard good things about LinkedIn.
It's interesting. I still really don't get it at all. So like at all, it's like the layout's same as Facebook though. If you click on it, it's like the same as Facebook, but it's just Dude, I don't even know. When I figure it out, I'll let you know I'll let you know how it works and go from there. Because it was just like, it is weird. But so obviously, so you finished school. You were working at Deloitte for. I mean, you're still working, but definitely different time. Quote unquote. So then you started to go through these programs, like learn how to sell and start your online coaching. What was like the biggest like mindset shift for you to be like, okay, I'm actually gonna like do this full time and actually try, and like what like kind of like sparked that like interest to like get started and actually do it and believe in yourself?
Yeah, so I feel like it wasn't anything like super like pinpoint. It wasn't like I hit like this like crazy rock bottom or like had this crazy like
really
like Jesus moment. It was more so like I just didn't want to. Well, I guess it like kind of really happened when like I was actually talking to my manager at Deloitte at the time, and I was already doing online coaching. I was already making some money, and like she was like always like during our like it was a year review, like here blah blah blah. She's like, like, what do you want to do? Because like she knew like like you're doing stuff. I want to see like step up. Like, what do you want? I was like, I mean, I guess like if I were to do something, I want to like be like on the front lines, like closing deals and like bringing in business, blah blah blah. And she was like, she's like, at least like that'll be 10 years until you potentially even get close to like into a position like that. And I was like, 10 years, and like,
wow.
I was like realizing like 10 years, like also like would work my way up to like a salary that maybe might be like 400. Maybe a bonus, and then like who knows. So I was like, okay, I'm already doing online coaching. I know the capability. Like we all see like the testimonials and like the fucking like top clients of people that like, oh, this dude just did 50K, this did like 100. I was like, maybe if I just like keep going, keep plugging away. And for me, it was just like that moment of realizing the trajectory of growth within like just like corporate world of what I could do, and like where I was just wasn't going to equate to like potentially how quick I can climb the ladder as long as I can just, keep up with what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So things kind of started from there. We're like, all right, I'm just going to continue to do what I'm doing. And I'm not going to lie, it was like tough going like a year, like teetering between like, maybe I'd make like 2K this month and I make like close to 5 or 6, and it stayed like that for a year. And like the year would end and I made like 50 or maybe like, and then hold on, complete other side thing, because I didn't tell you guys about this, but then not only was I like kind of starting my coaching business and like skidding through it at the time, I also had, so this was like, now we're into 2020, I hired a new business coach, Hakeem White, if you know who that was. Nonetheless, was with him for the year, who also met like a good buddy of mine, Caleb. That's how I found out about him, got into that. While I was doing that too, I started closing for the same Australian company that I signed on with in 2019.
No way.
Because I like had learned stuff from a sales course, and they sent an email out to the list like, hey, we're looking for someone to like hop on the phones, blah, blah, blah. Like all these people, they said like reached out with like text and emails and like, hey, like I've all the experience. I was the only person that like filmed a video and like sent it to them, and they're like, you filmed a video, and like no one did. Everyone was like following with email, like, I think you're like, we'll bring you on. So like, that year, 2020, I was running my own coaching business, and I think at that time I had a decent like year. Maybe I made like 50K within my coaching business. I was like, okay, that's pretty good. But then also on the side, closing for the Australians, I brought in like 27 in like commissions. So like at the end of the year, outside of my 9-to-5 job, I made like $83,000. I was like, fuck. So, but at the time, like I ended my coaching business, and at that time though, from like fucking September until December in 2020, Hakeem was like, I was running ads. So I like hired an ad manager. It was like $1,500 a month, and I probably burned through like 17 grand and like maybe made back 7.
Yikes, because you didn't know how to run ads, did you?
But like he had a system like to run it, but like it just like, and like, and obviously figure this out later, but like running ads to one-on-one coaching is just doesn't work.
Really?
It does not work. Like the only like good things that will come from ads like is like get people like into your audience, nurture them into Facebook.
Yeah, more of like a freebie.
It's more of like, more of a freebie situation. Let me get your email and then let me nurture you. And then once you're in my audience, then maybe I can run like a challenge or something, or a webinar or like this, and you're there, and then you can get this value, and then I can close you in a couple of days.
Gotcha.
So like, obviously running one-on-one coaching and like blah, 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 just didn't work, burned some money. 2020 finished out, and then that's when I found Jason Phillips, who's my mentor now. Okay. And my buddy Caleb was in the same coaching program with me and Akeem. Akeem was like going to upsell us into something else. He's like, hey, I'm putting through this other whole model. It's going to be like 25 grand. I was like, nah. Like at the time I was like, dude, 25 grand. Like I don't even have that. Like I don't so we go into 2020. My buddy Caleb calls me in January. I'm like, at this time I met Audrey 3 months ago, and he's like, hey man, like, you know, I know I need a coach, like, cause I just like need the accountability. I need like always be like kind of taking my steps forward. He's like, this is coach Jason Phillips. I didn't even know who he was at the time. He's like, you know, it's $20K to get in this program. Fuck, I don't know what to do. Probably gonna do it. Yeah. Whatever. So he hops in. I start like kind of looking into Jason Phillips and like, fuck, like this guy, like he's like an older dude. He was 37. He has also been in the game for 18 years. Mm-hmm. Before he stopped fitness coaching and opened his online business, he was running a $3 million a year coaching business with 17 assistant coaches, and just knew the game. Like and like at that time, like I didn't know anybody who actually like went through that and like got to where he was and then decided to do business coaching. Many coaches will do like, maybe they'll do like $1 million and then immediately start business coaching. Like
me and Ian were literally just talking
before,
about this.
Before you came over. I was like, I was just like business mentoring is like becoming the new wave, kind of like online coaching. Everyone started online coaching, and then now it's like people learned how to make maybe like $1 million or shoot, even like just 20 to 50K a month, and then they're like, I'm gonna be a business mentor and go coach other people how to do it, and it's like, I don't know. I think I was just talking about like I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs. Not a lot, I can't say a lot, but from people I've seen, they just hop around from like the next niche to the next niche, and they'll make like, you know, 10, 20K a month or whatever, and then they're like, I'm gonna go to the next thing. And it's like they have no true like experience to see it all the way through and make it a true like $1 million business minimum.
Exactly. Right? Like they haven't like been through like the crazy shit or like my mentor's story, like he got into, well, I don't even know if that, like he pretty much like started from like rock fucking like zero. Like he went to go buy a Starbucks and his card declined like in his 30s. Like no money, like none.
Holy
like,
crap.
And then just like you know when like, it's crazy because I feel like everybody who's fucking like Andy Frisell, like these motherfuckers that are like ultra wealthy or get these places like come from like the absolute worst.
Worst of the worst.
Yeah.
Andy Frisell got stabbed in the face. Like, like they're just hard. Like they're just like insane dudes.
And it's just like those people have insane work ethic and like insane like ability to like be able to like give to people. It's like crazy. It's like I'm fucking exhausted. I want to go to bed, and I'm like the guy's like maybe I got 6 more hours left in me. I can give into people.
It's true. Like some of them just work so hard, and it's like they're just built different. I don't know. They're
that's
just
like
like,
the way to,
like they can just go and like just do it, and like they don't care. Like they enjoy it. They get some type of like euphoric feeling from it. It's weird, and then they just thrive off that because they just grind.
Oh yeah.
But I kind of want to go back. So your first year, you did really well with coaching. What was like your highest of your high and your lowest of the low? What were some of the challenges you kind of overcome? Because I just came up on my first year. Like I just finished my first year of coaching. Definitely saw some highest of the highs and my lowest of the lows.
And so that's like, I feel like that's just the game. Like you're like, it's always because like you'll have good months, you'll have certain stuff. And then you realize like, okay, maybe I need to build more attention. Maybe I need to put more systems in place, more structure. Maybe this needs to be adjusted. So like, you know, we can keep this going. And like, I think for me, there was always like highs and lows. Like there's still, even now where we are today, like, I mean, shit, like we've had some really like insane, we've had a couple 6-figure months this year and like are averaging to do 7 figures this year. But like now, like we're hitting like Q4, and like we realized, okay, like we need to kind of like stabilize, like focus more on like team, focus more on like our output content, like really structuring our message. So like, like, you know, cause we've been like running off of like, I wouldn't call it like hype or anything like that, but like we've been like growing really well, but like also in a point to where, you know, we feel like, you know, we are at this point now, we want to be able to show like that we're like, we are the real deal. I feel like part of that is going to come through in like us being able to develop and produce content at a higher level.
I was gonna actually ask you that. What do you think is that? How do you think you're gonna actually like showcase that? Because it feels like that's something I struggle with my brand a lot, and I was gonna say it kind of goes for both of us.
I think for me, I just want to, we can go back to that, but like when I first started, because I quit Chick-fil-A to pursue this, I had like 0 clients, 0 money coming in. I had 3 months basically to live. Like I was like going back to live with my parents. I was like, hey, can I just crash for 3 months? That's all I need. I'm just going to do this. But then my first month I made $5K, and then my next month I made another $5K, and I was like, dude, I'm going to make $20,000 a month in no time. Not the case. Like that is not the case. But I think for me in the beginning, I was like, I'm making so much money. I was like becoming more money hungry rather than like nurturing my clients and also like creating like a really solid brand. Do you find that your first year, do you think you did that? Like kind of like became more money hungry rather than just like building more like a community / like nurturing your clients?
Yeah. I mean, cause I think like in a sense, like we live in like and we always talk about this too, like, cause it's the same with like our business coach, like we live in such like a hustle culture, to where it's like
so much.
Oh, it's like, you know, half like it's like fucking A. Like if I don't close in as many people as I did last week, I feel like I'm a fucking idiot. Like and
the thing like that's like the blessing and the curse in these mentorship groups. I mean, me and Ian these people are closing $70,000 this
like,
month, and I'm like, fuck, dude, I haven't got on a sales call yet.
No.
Like our old mentorship group, like we were kind of like, not I want to say the bigger fish, but we were like, people would come and ask us questions because we were like one of the first people to actually see a lot of success in the mentorship program. And then now like we got moved into this next one, and it's like now we're the smallest fish, and we're like losers. Like that's basically it. We're like, holy crap, this is kind of like crazy because all these other coaches are like, yeah, I just signed a $22,000 deal, like, and it's paid right now.
Are these people in like different niches outside of fitness too?
No, all fitness coaches.
All fitness coaches.
Yeah. And they're just starting up, but no, it is like different, like seeing that. But you said it was like in the hustle culture.
Yeah, because like with that too, like you feel like you always have to like level up. Like I think the shift in mindset is like understanding that the level up sometimes isn't revenue. So like your level up could be like making those adjustments on the back end, you know, bringing in the right key players to operate your team, help you develop at certain, like in certain levels, in certain instances, you know, bringing in maybe a new set of VAs, switching like there's always like that, the other aspects of like, maybe I didn't, you know, when you're having a good month, it's like, okay, we're hopping on sales calls. I just ran this offer, you know, certain things maybe weren't prioritized, and it's like, okay, maybe like, or maybe you like kind of ran something dry off like multiple offers in a row or challenges and stuff like that. And then you have to rebuild that attention. So it's like, there's other areas to always like focus into. And that's like, we went to like every quarter we go into a 1 day with our business coach, and we like have these conversations about like where we're at, what's the goal, what do we need to get done in the next 3 months. And like a part of that is like, cause he just said like the biggest thing, like obviously a lot of people don't have like now is like the patience, right? Like the patience.
Yeah, we talked. Me and Ian talked about that.
Yeah. It's like he's like, you know, and he's like, how many of you like? Because he asked the question. He's like, how many of you like, you know, you can't get home from here today? Okay, cool. How many of you can't like go buy a meal, do the shit, like, you know, you can't pay your rent? Like everyone's like, good. Like we have money to do things, and like Audrey and I talk, like we have probably enough money if we didn't close another client to live our lives for the next like 2 years and be like totally fine.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, there's that thing like, fuck, like I should be, like I'm at this level, I feel like I need to jump up, but it's like, you know, give yourself the patience. If you can like punt more or less like your revenue for the next 12 years or 12 months, like how much like, and then you'll just be able to crush everybody else. Because everybody else is like so focused on like the quick buck, the quick dollar.
Yeah.
How can I go from 20K this month to 30, and then I need to go to 40, but then like you hit 20 the next month, and then you stop producing content at a high level because you think you're fucking terrible, and then
me and Ian talk about this
right to how I'm feeling.
Me and Ian talk about this every day. We're like, dude, like how is he or she doing this? And like, I feel like I'm doing so much better. Like, is it actually just patience and waiting? Like, or am I just a loser? Am I doing something wrong?
Believe me,
it's the minds. Oh man, it literally happens every day.
Was there like a big mindset shift that you can remember of like thinking, okay, I'm no longer gonna be money hungry. I'm gonna be more focused on like kind of like patience in a sense of what you just said.
Like last week.
Really?
Yeah. Like,
no way.
Like, I mean, we've like been like crushing this year, and then we've had like some like months where we'll run like a specific offer and it did shit. And I remember like July was like one of like the slowest, like the lower months. Like we still did like 60 grand in July, but it was the slowest month we've had. It was the slowest month we've had. And we're like, what the fuck? Like, like I remember just like like almost like being fucking livid and having anxiety every day that like, it wasn't a sales call. It wasn't closing.
That's me.
Like, it was like, why? Like, what's going on? Like, we ran a fucking webinar. We closed no one on the back end because like, we fucking executed it poorly. And it was like, what the like? It was so ridiculous. And then you just like kind of like humble ourselves, think back, like, okay, we literally have acquired over 250 people this year already. Like, we're good. Like, things are gonna like get better. We're gonna put these in, like, we have systems in place for a reason. So it's like you go through those moments where you think you're just like absolutely like failing or like you're falling behind, and then like you get in your head, you're like, is my content bad? Is like, am I not doing something good enough? Like, that's always gonna like cloud the judgment and like always be in your head.
I think it's so like interesting you say that too, because it's like obviously we're our first year in. You're doing like well over us, and like you're like on step 100, we're on step 1, but it's like cool, like I wouldn't say cool, but it's like interesting hearing that, because it's like, dang, like that mindset can carry over no matter like what the revenue is or how successful you are. And it's like that is like a big thing, and I think a lot of people need to hear that. It's like mindset. I feel like if you can shift your mindset, you can really control your life and actually like see great results, but then not allow any doubt or anything like to overcome you. I think it's just something that you have to work on every day. I think mindset is something you have to work on every day, because I'm not gonna lie, I've been struggling with it for a little bit. Definitely having a not so good month as well. And it's just like, I'm like, dude, what am I doing? I've implemented more. I've like have an assistant. I'm doing more than what I was doing a year ago, because I'm like looking at numbers like a year ago and everything. And I'm like, why am I not like 3xing or like 6xing? Because I've like done so much more. But I think I firmly believe in time and patience. Like that's just that is the one factor I think is that nobody can wait for. But I think that's the one factor of like what will truly like escalate a business, because like you can only do so much, and people can only see you so much in a small amount of time. And I think just over time, you just become so known.
Exactly.
So
I wanted to touch back real quick about the showing your brand more. Because like me, like my company's called Better Than Before. Ian's is Embrace the Journey. And mine's more broader than fitness. Like I have a Discord with over 100,000 people.
It's really huge.
It's
what the hell's going on with that?
He had a TikTok and an Instagram reel blow up, and it was like he like woke up one morning.
It's more than one.
It was
dude.
It was like 20K, and he woke up. He's like, dude, I'm at like 30 or 40K overnight.
That's
like it was insane,
dude. You know what? And it's funny you say that.
I'll have you on it. I'll have you guest speak in it. We have like, dude, with Will, I had him guest speak. We had like 300 to 400 people just like listening. It was like a really cool, like in-depth podcast. Because the thing is, like with my company, and I want to get your insight on this, is like, obviously, like I'm always coming through fitness to start, but I'm more on the lines of like bettering people in general through like other pillars in life. So how could I showcase that in a way that is more than like just fitness? Because at the same time, my like nurturing system is only people that are, you know, trying to lose weight, trying to get in shape. So I don't really know how to push it outside of that and be more of like a life coach.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I mean, that's like the hardest piece too. Cause like, but then like you realize like once you acquire like somebody, like that's what it is.
Yeah.
Like, no, I mean, that's like the hardest piece. Cause like in a sense, like we all focus on those aspects, but it's like, I think in what you're kind of getting at too is like, how do I like craft my offer in a way that can touch all that? So someone really like understands. Like,
exactly. And that's kind of like, it's the hardest piece for me, because
dude, I'll tell you right now, like when I like got to metabolism, like like the reason why Jason is so good is because he is one of the best in the entire space at offer creation.
Really?
He's one of the best like marketers like in the world, because So he asked me, because we're at this point when I joined his program, I was working one-on-one with him. So every week I'd hop on a call with him for 30 minutes. Yeah. And he was like, when we first chatted, he was like, okay, so he's like, so like, what's your offer? And at the time, like I had Forever Fit Framework was like the name of my company.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah. I remember that too. Yeah.
So he's like, so like, what is your offer? I'm like, oh, so like, well, you know, I help people with like training. He's like, so cool. Like, what's your offer? And I was like, fuck. And he's like, can you like describe to me how like you get your clients results? Like, what are the wins your clients get? I'm like, well, they're going to lose 15 pounds and I'm going to help them like do that sustainably and like blah, blah, blah. And he's like, cool. How do you like get, what are the wins? And I was like, so fucking baffled. I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
I just fucking told you jackass.
Like,
And so like, basically like he helps like wrap my head around like a unique process. Like, how are we going to like stand out other than saying like, I help men lose 15 pounds without fad diets, but like say it in a way that's gonna be a little bit more of a hook.
Yeah.
So metabolism was the hook on that. And then to go a step further, it was like, I have to, you know, set up actual like phases. Like, so when I'm talking to someone on like a sales call, it's like, here's our offer, but like we have 3 phases that we bring all of our clients through. And it's like, you know, we're gonna focus on first like priming your metabolism through reverse diet, fix your hormones. Then we're gonna go through fat loss acceleration because no one wants to diet forever.
Yeah.
And then we'll tie it together in a lifestyle integration so you can go with your homies, have fun, and then actually sustain your results, which most people don't do.
See, that's just the hardest thing with me because it's like
I think crafting the offer is the hardest thing.
Yeah, because like
it's the most important.
Yeah, like my YouTube channel, it's like more on like I talk about like my life experience. So like my last video, I said, you know, why I pay $1,000 a month to be a part of a friend group. So like I talked about relationships, and then like the video before that, I talked about like my mindset when it comes to like, you know, making money. And it's like I'm trying to like tie everything together so it can be like one complete package when it comes to like fitness and also just like fulfilling your life. But it's just the hardest offer to like, I don't know, it's difficult.
Dude, the amount of, like I've probably spent at least minimum 2 to 4 hours just like sitting on my desk like thinking about like how to craft my offer, because I really don't have an offer anymore.
Yeah,
like I don't like, it's not like your offer. Like your offer is very like strict. So it's like, okay, I get it. I can help people lose 15 pounds. That's awesome. Get a win. But it's like, I have to find something that's so unique to the point where it's like, hey, I'm like, this is how we do it. And that's it. Like, you really want to live that lifestyle. Like, this is how we're going to take you through it. And it's very like, everybody can understand it. That's how people you have to be able to talk to somebody who has no idea about fitness.
Exactly.
And like, oh, that makes sense.
Yep.
And I think it's hard when you're in the fitness industry or just like you've been doing the job or you understand it. It's hard to be like, how do you not understand? Like, how do you not get that, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
But I try to think about times when I first started fitness when I was like, oh, believe all these myths. Like, you have to time your protein, or you have to like, whatever it was. Like, too much protein's bad for you, or peanut butter is high in protein. Bull crap. It's high in fat.
Yeah.
But no, I think that's kind of like a big thing for sure.
Yeah. So when did you craft your offer? I'm actually curious.
It was
recent, right?
Yeah, this was only within, this was like probably April of 2021.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you don't have to say it on the podcast. You can just give me like an estimate. But how much were you doing before your offer? I'm curious.
So, like, even before then, like, I was only doing like between, like, probably on average, like probably $5K a month.
Really?
So like I was never like crushing it at the time. And then like once I like created my offer, this was in
that was the next question I had, because I know for a fact, Mason, you had that month where it was like 5K to like fucking 25K. I know you had that month. Tell me about that month.
So like we created my offer, and then like, God, at the time before I met Jason, like I think January of 2021 was actually like my first ever month past 10K. So I did $12,000. Okay. And then went into February, but I also like re-signed like 4 people. Yeah. And they all came through in full. So it was like, I didn't acquire a ton of people, but like re-signed a lot of people on the back end.
Gotcha.
I think February I did like 5, and then went into March. I think March I did like 8. April did like 12. And then through the summer, like I think May and June I did like 13. July I did like I think 19, and then kind of hovered around like 19 to 15. November I did like just under 20. So like it was never like a huge fucking sprout. Yeah,
really?
It was like very gradual.
That's good though.
And then like, cause also like the same instance, like when I was working, or like even through TikTok, like a lot of the audience that I built out at the time in 2020 was like probably like an audience that wasn't like catered more towards like the offer that I created and like rebuilt it. So if anything, I was like starting from ground zero again, like back, even though I had an audience, even though I had stuff, like April 2020, as I'm pushing more of like okay, now I know who I am, what I'm doing, what it looks like. So for most of the audience, like they didn't really know.
Yeah.
So it was like me kind of starting from like, even though I had followers, even though I had people following, it was like, here's like that ground zero. And then obviously 2020 match with Audrey, I think just the combination of us both, her never running a single goddamn offer on her account ever, like allowed us to kind of sprout up quickly.
Yeah.
And then start to really run with things because she was like well established and like had been for years as well.
Yeah.
So.
Interesting. No, that's really cool to hear. I think that's a big thing is like, I feel like I want to say I'm delaying it, but I feel like I could definitely create an offer probably in the next month or two. Yeah. But I'm also scared to start. I'm going to feel like I'm starting.
Do you think that an offer can be, exactly. You think an offer can be bad and maybe fuck you?
Obviously not.
I would say no. Like if anything, it'll like only support things more. And it'll actually like, because I mean, we were talking about this and it's like the same thing. Like majority of our clientele is women. I think we've like,
I'm not gonna lie. I see your stories. It's like women.
Yeah, it's all women. Like I fucking hate working with guys. I hate taking sales calls with dudes. Like, oh, it fucking pisses me off.
I feel that though.
I'm not gonna lie. Same here though.
I do have some really cool guys.
Like, so much ego.
There's some dope guys that I love, and I'm like, dude, I've coached some of them for free. Like they're just awesome people because they're like willing to learn. Like they're like, yeah, no, dude, I just need to get in shape. Just show me. And then we have like the sickest conversations. And one of them, I actually like kind of like mentor. Like he doesn't really need help, like honestly, with coaching. He was a power lifter and like he knows how to do it. But he's like, dude, I just want to like pay you, like mentor me. He's like a really dope guy, wants to get in the entrepreneurship field. And like, I'm like, yeah, sure. Like we'll just hop on phone calls every week. We'll talk about life. And he's like really cool dude. But I like mentor him a little bit more. He's like, nice. I know. But yeah, some guys are cool. But yeah, most guys are like, I know how to do it. And I'm like, bro, you look like shit. Like,
dude, I literally, I do have some dudes I love. So like, I only work with the guys on our team, as you can imagine. And it's like not that many of them. And like most, like I would say the past like 4 out of my past like 6 dudes that I've brought on in the past 4 months have been like a spouse. So like both of them will come on together, which has happened very frequently. But like, yeah, most of the guys, like, you get on there, like, and there's just, like, an ego, there's a stigma, and a dude, like, tell me, he's like, yeah, like, you know, I'll be in ketosis in the morning, and then I'll have my carbs later at night. And I'm like, that's not how that works. Yeah, for real. But it's like me trying to tell someone like that, and they're like, oh, dude, like, and they just, like, won't. There's so much, like you can't tell me what to do, because, like, I'm a dude, and I got to figure this shit out. And it's just like, bro, like, I don't think we'd be here today.
The best thing is like, dude, I'm eating 3,000 calories a day and I'm not getting a single pound. I'm like, hey, I'm going to start you at 2,700 calories. I'm like, we'll see. And he's like, all right, that's not enough calories. I'm like, dude, just do it. First weekend, he's like, I'm so full. I haven't eaten this much. I'm like, dude, exactly. Like, you don't know anything about anything. Like, don't.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, like, and then I think we were transitioning into kind of, so, like, what was I saying? So like we're talking about dudes, work with very, very few dudes. And then I think the thing was like getting into an offer and kind of like thinking it was going to like not have attraction.
Yeah.
Cause we're like kind of going through that. We just like kind of started branding cause majority of our clientele is women. So now like, I'm only going to be speaking to like women in my content.
Yeah.
Which like, who knows? Like obviously like at some point I'm going to start like getting leaner for a show and that'll probably attract an audience, but like working with like that clientele, like I mentioned, we have majority of our people, but like even in my head, it's like, okay, fuck, if I just like only target women, is that like, am I leaving like money on the table? Is there like potential there? So
yeah, it is.
But even with that, it's just like, it holds so much true because like when someone like, especially with your content nowadays, like when people see y'all's content or like my content, it's like they see like maybe like something that goes viral or something that does this, something that's got a lot of traction. But like when someone sees my thing, like I want them to like, if it's a girl that we're actually targeting, I want them to like see it like right away and like know like I'm hitting like you in the fucking nose with my content.
Exactly.
Whether it's from the explore page or someone shares it, or they see it on a story, then they come to my page and then they can binge watch shit that is completely so hyper directed to them that like will have people that'll convert faster, we'll have the right people there.
Exactly.
Much fluff. So like that's like that's why, you know, these next 3 months, I literally don't care if we have fucking dog shit months. I know like if we do it right, when we hit 2023, we'll be able to like cash out on that audience. Like, really well.
Yeah. And I think that's like something that you kind of have to sacrifice is views. Yeah. Like I think you're not going to be making like virality, like content, but even if you get 200 views, like it's still 200 eyeballs. And imagine if your like content spoke directly to 200 people and they're all like, yeah, I want to buy like 200,
exactly.
like every single month, every single post. Right. It's like, and so I think that's like a lot of people are scared of, even myself. Like I still am like, I think I've done better with honestly like posting very like what I want to coach. I think I definitely need to create and offer more and more like, so whenever people see it, like, damn, like that's what it is.
Right.
But yeah, I think you have to transition over from like, okay, I'm no longer going to be an influencer and like focus on like views and whatever else. You're going to be like, okay, I'm a business person who's just trying to target a specific type of people.
Right.
And of course, you're always like worried about, am I leaving money on the table? Like I'm narrowing down, but you also,
and it's nice because like, but at the same time, it's like a double-edged sword. It's like virality can also bring more attention.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
It brings more attention. Like it's not like it's bad by any means, but like I think if that's like the main driver of bringing people through consistently, the message isn't going to hit the way you want it to all the time.
Yeah.
I think is like the bigger pencil in that piece.
But then I think eventually you'll become the trend, like you speaking. Right. So it's like you could post anything and you'll get 10, 20,000 views plus because of you're the trend now and a lot of people relate to you and then they constantly consume that. So it's like, that's where time comes into play and patience.
Yes.
Yeah. Like that's
so
it.
True.
Cause it's like, you can't expect to hit like you post a video and expect to go viral all the time.
Yeah. Like literally, speaking of viral, so Reels just started to kind of be like a little bit of a thing and like people started posting on them. So like this was when I was actually like pushing TikTok. This was beginning of 2021. And fucking I remember like throwing up a reel. It went off for 4 million. My page went from fucking like
no shit
12K followers to 22,000 overnight on Instagram. And then I don't know what the fuck happened, but my reel feature just disappeared and I couldn't post reels for like 5 months.
No,
I couldn't post another reel for literally 5 months. And I was like, bro, I was literally at the cusp of just going fucking berserk and maybe blowing up past like 100K.
Yeah,
who knows? Like, like I would have literally just like,
because they took it away from people and stuff.
Like I had it. I threw up a fucking viral like dumbass like workout, and then it went off for millions, hundreds of thousands of likes, and then just I couldn't post after that.
No way.
So
I didn't know that.
And that was like right when like reels were just like it was like TikTok. I was like, fuck, dude, you could blow up like if you just did it right, just like you did on TikTok. I saw other creators do that.
Wow.
And I was like, motherfucker. Like,
I
was so
they fucked you over right there.
And that's how I grew our team. I was just posting my reels on the team page. I took our team page from like a couple hundred to like a couple thousand. Not like it did anything for us, but like I was fucking ticked off.
Damn. Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, I've only had like one viral reel hit like 1 million.
Yeah.
But it is like, it's weird when you see that. It has like 1 M and you're like, damn, it broke me over 10K followers. It's like, damn, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
Now my account's dead. But then you're like, why is not every video hitting 1 million? This is stupid.
And it's crazy. Yeah. Like I'm posting trends, doing stuff now. Like, who knows?
And it was like the most stupidest video. It was literally me like doing a seated row and I just put some dumbass motivational quote on it. Like that's all it was. And I was like, that literally has no value. It does nothing. Yeah. Like people just look at your content. And I was fat too with my bulk. So it's like, dude, I was bulking so hard. I was like, oh.
Yeah, me and you got fat as shit.
When we moved out here, we were.
Dude, my first, this was first summer shredding, I got super lean, like fucking threw up 15 pounds in like, 4 weeks. I ate like an asshole. Like literally, I was like literally for 4 weeks straight. Like I would do decent through the day. It would hit the night. Like lights are out. I'm in the kitchen, dude. I got fucking cookies. I got fucking
ham.
If we're talking post prep, I gained 27 pounds in 3 days. Dude, I ate. It was so bad. It was so, yeah, no. I mean, I lost 14 overnight because then all of it just, all that stuff, dude, I felt like shit. And then I like worked out and like, I was like, you know, you lose that weight really quickly.
Yes.
but it was like for 2 weeks, I couldn't stop eating.
Yeah, I
like,
know. It's like a fucking and then you realize like, holy shit, people actually do struggle with like binge eating. Like,
no, it was like, I'm like my stomach was like a bottomless pit. Like you could just eat and you would be full. Like, nah, dude, just one more. Like just one more. Just one more.
Because it would taste so good and then it would kind of feel good and then you would eat until like.
Yeah, it kind of hurt.
If you guys ever like smoke, like we'd ever like in college, like I would smoke sometimes and we'd eat so much fucking Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Then I would like go to bed, stuffed, I'd wake up almost still full. You know?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Or have you ever done that
dude,
before?
How long did you prep for? How long was like your total?
Typically like 16-ish weeks.
Yeah. So, because
like
I did 2 shows. I did 2 shows. I did a 16-week prep for summer shredding. And then after I was like, I'm gonna do one more show. So I prepped for like another like 5 weeks. So I did like a 20 to 22 week prep.
Yep.
And so it was like half a year. And after that second show, I was just in prep for way too long. I was doing I was doing so much cardio, eating 1,200 calories. It was just ridiculous. Yep. My body was so shy. Dude, I just nonstop ate for 2 weeks. I knew it got bad when like I'd be sitting in bed, it'd be like late. I'm like, dude, I'm just gonna get a large pizza and a pint of ice cream. And I'd fall asleep with it all gone in the bed. I'd wake up and I'm like, oh my God, this is so bad, dude. But it's like, I wake up and I'd go have a big ass breakfast and like make whatever I want. And I would bagels and peanut butter. I'd take the bagels and just dip them in the peanut butter and eat it. Yeah. And I felt so bad about myself. I would stand in the pantry and do it because I wouldn't go sit down. I had to be standing to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had an eating disorder after, 100%.
Oh yeah.
It's and so I went from 169 was my stage weight. And within 2 weeks, I was already past my peak bulk. I was like 205.
Holy moly.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, I couldn't stop.
I've heard this story probably 15 times. It's funny every fucking time. So, like, dude, I gained almost 30 pounds in 3 days. Eat that. Yeah, people are like, I gained some weight. I'm like, dude, I gained 27 in 3 days.
27 pounds.
But then I lost 14 overnight. Like, it was kind of crazy. I woke up and I was like, what the like, that's insane. But I did like work out that day and go do cardio. I would do cardio. Bad relationship with food. I would eat a bunch. I'm like, I'm going to do an hour of cardio as well. And I still did it for 6 days a week. Like, and I would go for walks. Like, I was still very active. And I think that's why I didn't put on more weight, but I was very, very active. And I was like, I just had such a bad relationship. And so after those 2 weeks, I was like, okay, I really have to stop. Like, but it was like a flip of a switch. I was like, all right, I'm good now. Like, I don't know what, I looked in the mirror. I was like, damn, I look like shit. All right, I'm done. And like, I just stopped and I was like, all right. And I go back on my diet and I just started training and it was fine. So I don't know. It's weird, but I mean, that's how much I gained. I got fat. That's basically it. Dude, it was crazy. All right.
We'll ask a couple of questions and we'll wrap it up.
Course.
So one thing I wanted to touch on was so you just hired basically like a marketing team, right?
Like an in-house content team, more or less.
Okay. Yeah. So how much do you think that's going to leverage your time to make either like more in fulfillment or more on the sales side? How much do you think that's actually going to buy back your time?
So like a good bit, and it's going to buy it back. Like the way that they structure it. So, they're going to
break it down.
So they're going to basically start us out like having us clip shit up on like 3 hours a week just on one day.
Okay.
And they can pretty much, our creative assistant can pump out 96 pieces of content a month.
Wow.
And like eventually we might kind of level up to getting 2 of them. So like each of us are creating 96 pieces of content a month.
So this is only on your page then.
This is going to be Audrey and mine. So because I was like, fucking 96 pieces of content, dude. Like,
that's a lot.
Brain's going to fucking break.
So much.
So much.
I post 3 or 4 times on TikTok a day and then carry that over. But it's like, it is a lot. It is a lot of posting, a lot of editing, and it mentally drains me.
Yes,
yeah, it does.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So for us, like they said that eventually we'll get to a point to where we'll be able to sit down like one day a month and clip up 96 pieces for the entire month.
Wow.
Which would be astounding. Like, it like sounds great, but like it's going to take some time to get there. But like, it's so nice too. So with them, like we have our in-house editor, we got a brand manager, we got like another support within like helping us like, so we go into our entire document. We list out like series of content that we want to create, get topics based off that. Their brand manager then takes that topic, runs it against like the SEO search engine and gets like the best keyword topics for us to basically like talk
Really?
about.
Wow.
So like not only are we like getting the pains of all of our like, you know, clients, like
of course,
stuff like that, and then we want to like create a series on like I help women like, you know, understand more about hormones, and then we'll talk like subtopics about that.
Yeah.
So like when, for instance, like I was talking about the explore page thing, so like when they come to our page, see a certain piece of content,
wow,
then have to link them to like 5 other pieces. So then I got someone like not only engaged in one thing and it looks great and it's edited well and it's got like the flavor that we're looking for, but they'll have the ability to like come and watch a bunch of our shit and learn more about it that way. And like obviously doing that over a couple months, we'll be able to completely flow out the page to a way that'll hopefully convert more. So,
wow. Dude, that's
nice.
You're paying $1,500 a month?
No, so like
more.
I'm
assuming more, right?
So for one creative assistant, it's $3,200 a month.
Okay,
but like very reasonable because like we wanted to like get a in-house
really not bad
in-house
really
videographer editor here, and we were eventually going to pay him full time at like between 3 and 4K depending on how good he was. We hired a dude here, and he just like the content style we were looking for just wasn't cutting it. I feel like most creators here are more focused on like kind of that like more influencer style.
Yeah,
of course.
So
who can be the craziest motherfucker?
Right.
That's it.
So for us, we're like, okay, we're looking for someone a little bit more professional, a little bit more on the like business side. So we got them. It's $3,200 a month, and then if we wanted to, it'd be like 6K. At the time, I was like, fuck, that's a lot of money. Like 6K right now. I was like, let's start off with one. See how much like we actually can create and use.
Damn, $3,200, dude.
So,
oh my gosh, that would be nuts.
Right.
That'd be insane.
Right.
Film
That's like
for
not
3
bad.
hours,
Honestly, like
and then
3,200.
what for the whole month?
3 hours. So starting out just 3 hours a week, and then eventually, like, we'll be able to sit down in a day and like create.
Still,
like if I can sit down one day and crank, like just like kind of just like crank it out. That'd be fucking great. Like not have to. And the creative assistant does everything between thumbnails, edits the videos, all the way to posting on our account for us. So like once it's done, like sure we might have to like grip up some captions and stuff, but they like do everything else, everything on the content.
Well, that's kind of what we transitioned our VAs to basically do that. Like she posts on all my platforms except for my main TikTok, my main Instagram, but she chops up, does everything, writes the caption, and does all my email marketing. So I put her I put her through a copywriting course. Oh shit. So she learned how to like copyright, and it's actually like, dude, it's better than me. Like I was like, damn,
she went through Hustlers University.
Really? Oh my god.
Just
Andrew Tate, baby. Let's go the top G.
So he has a copywriting course, and it's actually really good. And it's like a lot of people make a lot of money. I was like, hey, you're going to go through this course. Like, that's all I want you to do on your time is just go through this whole course and learn how to do it. So now she does all my email marketing.
Yeah. It's $50 a month. And I was learning stuff on crypto, and I'm like, yo, Jess, you do this. And then Ian was like, yo, Yanni, you do this. So they both learned it.
And then, they did email marketing, and now she writes them, and they're great. And she then converts them into like Instagram posts and everything like that. And I'm like, this is awesome. But no, that's crazy. I mean, that's going to be nice to just have it all kind of like laid out. Because I think that's something that I need to learn definitely. It's like lay it all out, have it like the series, what I want to do, everything just like organized so you just know exactly what to film. Because I think for me, it's like, what do I film?
And that took us, I was going to say that took us a lot of time because we were sitting with the dude. So the dude who owns the company, like we had an onboarding call with him, and we're going through like kind of he calls it like our brand Bible. So like we're breaking down like, who do we work with? Who are they? What are their pains? What are their stuff? And then like all the way to like, what's your unique, creative, counterintuitive way of describing like things. And we were like, took us like 30 minutes just to work through that. Like we have an offer, we know what we do, but it's like actually verbalizing it in a way that like is actually unique and makes sense. Like took us a fucking long time. And even like when we sit down and like we're kind of like going through some of our stuff today, it's like, fuck, okay, like wait, how do I say that? Like how like scripting like an actual video script, like it's like tough, but it's like, okay, like that was the work we needed to do to like kind of like figure these things. So it'll be really cool to like see how we evolve through that. So.
Yeah, that's cool. I know it's kind of like off topic, but we were bringing up like you getting the video editor and stuff, but I was kind of I'm curious about how you got your trainers, and like, do you salary them? Do you commission them, or how does that? Because I'm gonna be honest, like I've tried to look up or ask people like how they go about their assistant coaches and everything, and like
everybody's got a different
that, or it's not good at all. And like a lot of them will join and then they drop off like within. It's like I feel like I haven't really found or talked to somebody who has really, really good assistant coaches who are like loyal, but then feel like they're getting everything deserved and like stay consistent. So I'm curious how long have they been with you, but also what's like, how do you go about it? Yeah.
So we have 3 assistant coaches now. We'll probably be hiring a 4th in the next like couple months. So we actually fired one of our assistant coaches because he was terrible. Like,
really?
Absolutely terrible. He, like there was like to the point where like multiple clients were like, shit was wrong. Plans aren't good. It was just bad, but not to get down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
So with our assistant coaches, like our ACs we've known. So our head coach, Kaylee, we met here in Houston. Okay. We were down here and like, we've been close friends with her for a while. She just knows her shit. Like about internal health, gut health. She's been through a lot of stuff. So we've had her since like April. Our coach, Gabby, was our first assistant coach at the time in February. And then our coach, Jocelyn, in July. Gabby and Jocelyn both were coached by Audrey. Gabby was Audrey's first ever like fitness client about 2-3 years ago.
Wow, that's incredible.
Maybe a little bit longer, but like just like both like all 3 of those girls are just like they get it. They're on their shit. Yeah. They're like good communicators. Like I love like working with women because it is the like dudes are they're just lazy. Like if it's not their thing or it's not like whatever, it's hard to get a guy like that to like. Because I feel like, it just
feels like men like want to build more and women want to like take instructions in a way.
Yeah, in a sense, and like especially from what I've noticed with like women take a little bit more initiative. They're more system focused.
Artsy,
they're more artsy, and like they like are more like structured. Like,
exactly. Yeah.
I know myself, and that's why I don't like working with guys in our team because I'm like I know I'm a little bit more free flowing. I know I don't like track things as much, but I know if I have a team in place. And I trust them, they're going to get it done. 100%. So all of our coaches are great in that way. And like in terms of like whether or not they're going to stay with us, these coaches will be with us probably forever. Like we just had like vision calls with all of our team, like at all respective points in our company right now. We're like Audrey chatted with them like, hey, we're here. How do you feel things are going? Like as like where you're at, where do you want your growth to be? Where do you want to grow within here? And like everybody had like good feedback and like, especially with our coaches, we don't salary them more or less. We pay them per client that they coach.
Okay.
So, depending how many clients they have, they make a certain amount of money. So all of our coaches make like about $150 per client.
Okay.
Which is
that's really
honestly
good.
That's really not bad. That's like I'm not gonna lie, that's like
because they just do the fulfillment, right?
And we literally like none of our coaches are like
they don't even promote it.
Clients.
Yeah.
Like all of our coaches, I think. All of our coaches have over 40 clients. So I think our head coach has over 50.
Wow.
And I think maybe 2 of those clients that have come through have been people that have directly applied through them, and then we've signed for them, which they'll get a little bonus if they bring someone on through like them respectively.
Wow. Yeah.
So like we're just like, yo, you only coach, you be the best fucking coach in the world. And then that'll help us with retention.
Wow.
And then
is this basically $150 a month for the most part?
Yeah, $150 a month. So yeah, because like we were thinking too, like it doesn't make sense if like you closed a client and you gave your coach that percentage of course right off the bat, like just for cash flow reasons. Yeah. So like it works well. Like all of our coaches,
dude, that's awesome.
Are doing well. Like they're all about to be making like
so they can
6 figures a year.
Yeah, so they can. I mean, they don't have any other jobs, do they? They just
sit there. Yeah, they just
fulfill,
coach.
Yeah,
do check-ins, answer questions. Like they're engaged on like our team calls. Every bi-weekly, and then
that's great.
Yeah, so like for them, it's like the best position in the world, and like they also have there's so much more room.
They
for
have
growth.
the freedom as like entrepreneurship, but dude, that's
awesome.
That's fantastic, so cool. Dude. Because we've heard fucked up shit, fucked up,
and we only know how to structure our team in the way because like we're in such like a good group of like fitness businesses, and being coached by a coach who like has done it, and like the people that like. We sit down at like the one days we go to, like all those motherfuckers in there are making at our pace or higher, like $3 million a year, and like they've like have 11 coaches and like have gone through it and like understand what works.
Dang.
That's why mentorship groups are so fucking popular,
so valuable.
Yeah.
But they're not popular, valuable. I mean,
I have one question. I'm actually curious about this. I wrote this down because I think it'd be kind of cool to ask. All right, so this is like more for like us two. What's one thing you see us doing that you either would do, that either you also did or would change?
Oh,
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, what would I recommend you guys start doing?
Yeah. Just like
that you wish you maybe would have done sooner, or like you see in our content, or
that you did in the past, or in something that maybe we would change. Do I need to rephrase
question.
that, or?
No, that I understand what you're saying. Like if I'm in your shoes, like what don't you see that I see that you could do?
Because I was also going to ask you this off Potter as well once we hop off.
Shit, like that. It's very hard because like I feel like it kind of comes back to the patience, but also at the same time like understanding like what part of like your process that you're in, right? So like I could tell you something that like I learned and that works really well for me, but like is everything in place for you right now at the moment to execute?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like from like your guys' perspective, I think we kind of hit on things is like figuring out like what exactly is it that makes me a hell of a lot different, that like I'm looking at me to you, or you guys are looking at each other respectively. Like what is going to be that unique thing that someone is like, oh, I fucking like need that. Like that is like, that's different.
Yeah.
But also in a sense, like, I think part of like everything too, as you guys grow, like will become, and as you guys start to like already realize like a lot more team focused, like at the levels that like, cause when I was by myself, it was like, I didn't know like what exactly I needed, what exactly the next step was, but like realizing like how important it is to have like, good VAs, good assistants, good assistant coaches, good team members is like, it adds up in such like a way that is like, we wouldn't be able to do anything we do. Like if our coaches couldn't fulfill at the level that they can fulfill at, or have that like knowledge. So it's like team's part of it, understanding your offer, but like, shit, man, it's like hard to really say like what exactly
no worries.
Like next step could essentially be. Yeah. I guess for you, where you guys are at, like, where do you feel like you are, like your whole is?
I would say definitely offer and kind of like, I think I have a 100%. Fear of like doing that and like then also like having to restart basically.
Exactly. Like I'm having the fear of like creating my offer and then I'm like, oh wait, but I actually want to have a different offer now.
Sure.
Because I don't know. That's like the biggest fear of mine because, or not like the biggest fear of mine. I have a lot of fears.
No, I think it's just like starting over.
Yeah. So the thing with me is like, I'm afraid I'm going to start an offer.
Yep.
And then I get a month or 2 months into it. And then I'm like, fuck, I need to change my offer because it's not good enough.
Yep.
Or maybe I want to change it and go a completely different route because I'm not having like quote unquote like fun with that offer. If that makes sense. Because I also want to be fulfilled with doing the offer that I'm doing. I don't just want to do it just to make money. Right. Obviously, with an entrepreneurship mind, everyone starts a business to fucking make money. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
And however many people on the internet say I don't do it for the money, I'm sorry. You're fucking lying. Yeah. Like everyone does it for like that's just how it is.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. It's like not only am I trying to do it for the money, but I also want to do it like with a fulfilled purpose, stuff like that. So that's kind of like a fear of mine of creating like.
So how would you know? Yeah. Last question, but how would you know like your metabolic reset like that? How did you know that was like the one?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
To be honest, like it was. Because when I was creating my offer, I was like talking about like, oh, like fat loss, sustainability, like doing it in a way that's like, oh, like that you can live your life and, lose weight and like all this shit. And it's like, okay, cool. And then eventually it was just like kind of like something that was like brought up in conversation. It was like, how about like we focus on like metabolism?
Yeah.
And I was like, And I was like, well, majority of the clients that I do and have been working with, like at the time was bringing through like reverse diets and like reverse dieting a lot of people.
Yeah.
And like that just kind of became like the chunk because like now it's like majority of people that like even come to us, it's like, like we were saying parts earlier, people, go through crash diets and then they like, oh, I'm eating so little, all this bullshit. So it's like first, like the whole idea is like, we got to get someone feeling good again.
Yeah.
Most women don't even know what it's like to like actually fuel their body and like feel good.
Yeah.
Feel confident.
And especially,
feel like
and especially with that too, when they're not eating enough, they're not sleeping well, they have gut issues, their hormones are tanked because they're on birth. Like it's all a whole host of fucking shit.
Yeah.
So it's like that like kind of became the consensus. And then it really molded more as like, me and Audrey started working together. We started really noticing a lot of, we were getting our clients to go get blood work and we were reading blood work and we were seeing all the trends. So that's what like really solidified, where we need to be and like in that sense. And like, that's like kind of what we'd honed in on. And so it's like, I wouldn't necessarily think like it's you know, in the beginning, is there like fear around it? Like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But like, I think there's also like once you get it, like, you know that like, okay, like this is like actually something that's like can be identified a little bit, like a little slight switch differently. That like when someone sees my stuff, what I'm talking about,
gotcha.
Like it comes off in a way that's like, okay, that's like something I haven't heard before. Because like we talk about metabolism or like talk about this, like, of course, we know what we're talking about.
Exactly.
We also have to frame ourselves in the mind of someone who really doesn't know a dick about dick.
Yeah, exactly.
So, that's true. But man, I think we're going to have to wrap it up there. You got to go home. But we appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming on here.
Of course, thanks for having me. We'll have to run this back.
Yeah,
we could have talked probably for another like.
Oh my, dude, we could probably talk.
We really haven't dove into a bunch of shit that we need to dive into. We'll bring him on again. He'll be in my Discord as well. Y'all are probably in my Discord already. I'm not here to promote my shit though. But if y'all want to follow Mason. It's going to be in the description below, his Instagram, if you want to go learn about metabolism.
If you want to get him as a coach, we'll give access to that as well. If you guys don't want us, we get it. We don't have an offer yet. But no, it's been fun. We'll definitely have to run it back another episode in the future. We'll have to. I think we definitely have a lot more to talk about.
For sure.
But
for sure.
With that being said, we appreciate y'all. Just share this with somebody who would benefit from this. That's kind of it.
Yeah,
Actually,
that's
anything
it.
else?
No, that's it, man. I will see y'all next week.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.